2, 1. What is up, guys?
What's up,
Football
guys?
Guru is back. Dave, and of course,
Kyle.
And today we have waiver wire sections for Week 5 for helping out your fantasy team. So, without further ado,
What we're going to do is we're going to start with the quarterbacks. Then we're going to go to running backs and so on. We're going to start with the Week 5 sleeper. My Week 5 sleeper for quarterback is Eli Manning. He's playing the Falcons, who don't have a great defense, but I think Eli Manning is going to pass all over them. I know I picked Atlanta to win, but I think Eli Manning still has a really good game.
yeah, I agree on that token, but I also like Sean Hill as well. St. Louis Rams, I know he was awful Week 2, I think, when he got the start.
Is he even starting this week?
Yeah, he's starting this week over Austin Davis, and Philadelphia. Their defense is really not good, and it's more of the matchup. It's not that I like him, but it's more of the matchup. So if you're in a deeper league, look for Sean Hill to have a good game.
So you're saying he's not. If you're in a keepers league or you're in it for the long term, you shouldn't grab him.
If you're in a weekly league and you're trying to get a cheap quarterback, you're gonna get Sean Hill and you're gonna start him. If you're in like a 2-quarterback league, 20-team league, whatever, but like maybe a 12-team league, you start Sean Hill just because of the matchup. But I don't like him. I don't like him long term. I like him this week. That is it.
Okay, so the next part of it is someone droppable that wasn't droppable before.
Quarterbacks.
Mine is we're still on quarterbacks. Okay, so mine is Kirk Cousins. I know a lot of you are saying, okay, not everybody had him anyways, but in my opinion, after he went crazy, you all should have gotten him, and he was probably owned in close to a great majority of the league. So. However, I think he is droppable now. I think defenses have figured him out. They're watching video. They have enough video to see what he does and what he has the tendency to do. So they're going to start stopping him and putting a lot of pressure on him. He's going to throw a lot of picks. You're going to see him throw a lot of picks this game.
I do agree with that, but I also have a quarterback who many of you like, and throughout his career, he's Hall of Famer, obviously, Tom Brady. And right now, the only reason people have him is just for his name, just because his name's Tom Brady. And he hasn't done anything this year. He posts like maybe 10 fantasy points first couple weeks and like 8 or 7 week 4 against the Chiefs. So right now, if you have Tom Brady, you either trade him for his name or you just drop him outright.
I would see if anyone in your league wants to trade for him. You should probably try to trade him. But
if you can't get anyone,
I don't think he's worth having on your team. Anyways. Okay, so next we're going to go to running backs. Week 5 sleeper for me is Lorenzo Taliaferro of the Baltimore Ravens. They're playing the Indianapolis Colts this week. Not a strong run defense. Robert Mathis is not there. He's not going to be able to stop the run. Their defensive line is not that great. The linebackers are all right. Lorenzo Taliaferro has shown us that he knows how to run the ball. I know he's sharing with Justin Forsett, but I think he has more carries than Justin Forsett this week, and I think he goes crazy against that Colts defense. You?
My guy this week is none other than Jerick McKinnon. And yes, he's a backup on the Vikings, and they are playing tonight. But he showed last week on film that he is a good running back. He had like 8 carries for like 90 yards. He made short work. He made a lot of fantasy points with short work. And I feel like the Vikings are going to utilize him well. And I trust that the Vikings will utilize him well and look for him to have maybe an 80-yard game and sneak in a little touchdown there.
All right, I can see that happening. And again, someone droppable that wasn't droppable before. I think a lot of you had D'Angelo Williams. I think he does not deserve to be owned in any leagues now. I think he's not even that good anyways. I know he's a strong player, but I think Cam Newton, he runs the ball most of the time. I don't think you should have a running back on a team that doesn't get the most carries. Mm-hmm. And I think Cam Newton's probably going to get the most carries, which is, I think he's selfish, but whatever. So, and I think D'Angelo Williams is good, but I don't like how they use him, so he's not good in fantasy.
I do agree there, but my guy right now is Toby Gerhart. Everyone picked him high. He's on a Jags team. They're not that good. They're going to say, he's going to get 20 carries a game. He's getting 20 carries a game, but what he's doing with that is putting up 40, 50 yards. And he sneaked in a touchdown last week, but he played a really poor team, and he still didn't do well. He's averaging like 3 yards a carry. You can drop him or maybe trade him, but right now you're not going to get much for him.
All right, I can see that. On to wide receivers. My sleeper for this week is Eddie Royal. He's been going crazy the last few weeks. He's not a top-tier wide receiver, so that's why I'm considering him a sleeper. He's playing the Jets. The Jets have a good defense. A lot of people like their defense, but their secondary is atrocious. I think Phillip Rivers passes all over their defense, and I think Eddie Royal and Keenan Allen lead that charge. And Eddie Royal is going to get a touchdown, undoubtedly, I think. What about you?
I agree there, but my guy, Andrew Hawkins, all right, he's on the Browns. They're an abysmal offense, but right now Jordan Cameron injured. He's coming back this week, but he's not going to do much. Obviously, Josh Gordon is suspended, and Andrew Hawkins has seen a good amount of targets in the first 3 weeks after their bye. Before their bye, he had like 8 for 80, 7 for 70, 8 for 80. So he's getting the work, he's getting the yards. Look for him for a touchdown in that same workload to give you 15, 14 points this week.
That's true, but if he's the only option, don't you think the defenses are going to put a lot more coverage on him?
I understand that, but there's no one else there. So look for him to have 10 targets, maybe not a lot of yards, but like 50 yards and a touchdown, you still can do with that.
All right. So someone droppable that wasn't droppable before. Kendall Wright. He's not doing anything this year. He's got a bad quarterback in Charlie Whitehurst. Even when Jake Locker comes back, I still don't like him anyways. I'm sorry, X Ryan 915, but your Titans are not that good. And
shout out to you, X Ryan 915.
Yeah, we watch the show all the time. But Kendall Wright, he's not going to do anything. As we got some buses moving in, it's a lot of noise.
All right, I agree with you in that, but there's a Smith on the Ravens that's not producing this year, and his name is Torrey Smith. And everyone thought, oh, this is the year, you're going to break out, yada, yada, yada. But to be honest, he's not doing anything. I mean, Joe Flacco doesn't even look like he needs him. He's not even looking at him. Like 3 targets a game. He had a fluky touchdown last week, but he only had 2 receptions. So, I mean, you can drop him at this point. I don't see a reason not to own him. I mean, he's just not producing.
Okay, on the tight end. My tight end sleeper is Owen Daniels. Dennis Pitta is injured, so obviously Owen Daniels is going to be the number 1 tight end in Baltimore. Like I said when I was talking about Lorenzo Taliaferro, the Baltimore Ravens are playing the Indianapolis Colts. I think Indianapolis gives up a lot of points in that game. I think both Lorenzo Taliaferro and Owen Daniels score in that game. They like Owen Daniels in the red zone. And, yeah, he's going to have a good game. So what about you?
For tight ends, I like Austin Seferian-Jenkins. Yes, he's a Tampa Bay product right now. He's with the Bucs. And Mike Lennon's there, and he looked for him a lot last week. He didn't score a touchdown, but he's looking for him. He's getting a good amount of targets, and look for him to sneak in a touchdown this week against the New Orleans Saints team that just looked really bad last week.
Okay. So someone droppable that wasn't droppable before. I picked Kyle Rudolph, even though it seems like the quarterback situation in Minnesota isn't that great. That it got better, actually. It's an upgrade with Teddy Bridgewater to Matt Castle, that's what I meant. But I still don't think that Kyle Rudolph can produce. I think he's droppable. What about you?
Yep, I don't like Jordan Reed. Now, everyone liked Jordan Reed preseason, and he did have injury concerns, and yet again, you're dropping him because of those injuries. They don't have a guy that can throw him the ball, and he's just getting injured, and you can drop him at this point. I mean,
yep.
he was looked at as a sleeper earlier in the year, and it just didn't work out.
I think Niles Paul is going to
exactly look for Niles Paul. You add him, you drop Jordan Reed.
So defense must adds. I've got the Browns defense. I like Joe Hayden. He's probably one of the best cornerbacks in the league. What about you?
This week I like the Lions. Their front four as good as it gets with Ndamukong Suh and Nick Fairley, and they're playing a really, really poor team in the Buffalo Bills, and in Detroit. Look for them to have a breakout game.
Okay, so kicker, my must add is Josh Brown. He is a very good kicker. He's proved that. The Giants can prove that they score now. I think he kicks a lot of field goals and gets all the extra points.
My guy Cody Parkey on the Eagles. I mean, that offense is great, and they're going to get him opportunities. So look for him to have a great week. Anyway, guys, that's the end of the segment.
That's it.
All right, peace.
All right, peace. Let us know what you like if you like our picks.